And this is the question that came in grade 9 for 9 exam mathematics 2020. That was internal. So the question was, find the value of cube root of 125 and square root of 16. Okay, find the value of cube root of 125 and the square root of 16. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm going to write this expression down. So the first thing we need to do is to find the cube root of 125, the number that we can multiply 3 times for us to get 125. So to do that, I'm going to work that from the left side of the screen. That is, I'm going to try to multiply numbers. I'll start from 1. We know 0 multiplied by any number, the answer is 0. So if we try 1, we say 1 by 1 by 1 will give us still 1. Okay, then let's try 2. Then we say 2 by 2 by 2, that is 2 by 2 give us 4. 4 by 2 give us 8. So the cube of 2 is 8. Let's try 3. So 3 by 3 will give us 9. 9 by 3 will give us 27. So the cube of 3 is 27, or the cube root of 27 is 3. Okay, 4 by 4 by 4, that will give us 64. So that means 4 is the cube root of 64. We want to find the cube root of 125. Okay, so 5 by 5 will give us 25. 25 by 5 will give us 125. Therefore, the cube root of 125 is 5. So the cube root of 125 is 5. So we're going to write 5 there. Then we find the square root of 16. So the square root of 16, we can do the same thing. 1 by 1 give us 1. 2 by 2 give us 4. 3 by 3 will give us 9, and then 4 by 4 give us 16. So the cube root, the square root of 16 is 4. So we're going to say plus 4. Then 5 plus 4 give us 9. So this was the correct answer. Okay, let's go to next question. Our next question is coming from 2020 external paper, which was, the question was, find the value of cube root of 8 plus square root of 1. Cube root of 8 plus the square root of 1. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to write the same statement or expression down here. Then we are going to find the cube root of 8, a number that you can multiply thrice to get the answer 8. So we are going to find that number. I'm going to use the left side of the screen to do that. So I'm going to multiply numbers from 1 going up by itself or by themselves. Then we get the cube of those numbers. Then we see which one is 8. Which number will give us the number 8. Okay, so 1 times 1 will give us 1 times 1 will give us 1 again. So the cube root of 1 is the cube of 1 is 1. Okay, let's try 2. So 2 by 2 will give us 4. 4 by 2 will give us 8. So the cube of 2 is 8. So the cube root of 8 is 2, which now we are going to find the square root of 1. So we are going to use the same numbers there, but on one there we're just going to multiply 1 by 1. The product we get, that is 1. So that means multiplying 1 by 1 will give us 1. So the square root of 1 is 1, which we're going to say plus 1. Then we're going to add those two numbers. 2 plus 1 will give us 3. Okay, so 3 was the answer for this question. Let's go to the next question. Okay, the next question is coming from 2019 paper for internal students. This is internal examination paper for 2019, and the question was, find the value of square root of 64 minus cube root of 27. Find the value of square root of 64 minus cube root of 27. So as you can see, I've written the expression down here. So we need to find the square root of 64 minus the cube root of 27. So a square root is a number, it's the number that you multiply by itself in order to get a square number. So a square root is a number which you multiply by itself in order to get a square number. So 64 is a perfect square. That is what we all know. So let's find the number that we can multiply by itself to give us 64. So I'll start with the 1. I'm going to write the square root and their square numbers. So as you can see on the right side, I've done that, where 1 multiplied by 1 will give us 1, which is a perfect square. 2 by 2 will give us 4, which is for a perfect square. 3 by 3 will give us 9, which is also a perfect square. But these numbers, these products we're getting, they are not 64. We want to check a number which will give us 64. So 4 by 4 will give us 16, 5 by 5 will give us 25, 6 by 6 will give us 36, 7 by 7 will give us 49, then 8 by 8 will give us 64. So the square root of 64 is 8. Okay, a number that you can multiply by itself in order to get another number. That number is called a square root. Okay, so now once we have done that, now let's find the cube root of 27. So I'm going to write minus, then let's find the cube root of 27. So I'm going to multiply numbers by itself 3 times. So to find the cube root, I'm going to multiply numbers by itself 3 times. Then the product we get is the cube root of that number we have multiplied by itself. Okay, so there, okay, I've done there. So we are saying 1 by 1, that is 1. 2 by 2 by 2 will give us 8. 3 by 3 by 3 will give us 27. So which is 3 is the cube root. The 7 down there is together with 2 there on top, which is 27. Then 3 is the cube root of 27. Then we're going to subtract that. 8 minus 3 will give us 5. So 5 was the correct answer. Let's go to the next question. Okay. Next question is coming from 2018 internal paper, the paper for internal. So the question was evaluate cube root of 64. Evaluate cube root of 64. Okay, so students were asked to find the cube root of 64. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write 64 down there, the cube root of 64 there. Then what we are going to do here is simple. We are going just to find a number that we can multiply by itself 3 times. Then the answer should be 64. So I'm going to write the cube root and their cube numbers on the right side of the screen there. So as you can see, when you multiply 1 by 1, you're going to get a cube which is 1. When you multiply 2 by 2 by 2, you're going to get a cube which is 8. When you multiply 3 by 3 by 3, you get the cube which is 27. And when you multiply 4 by 4 by 4, you get a cube which is 64. Okay, so 4 by 4 give us 16. 16 by 4 give us 64. Because 16 plus 16 give us 32, plus 16 will give us 48. 48 plus 16 will give us 64. Okay, so the answer there was going to be 4, which is so to evaluate the power of 3 square root of 16 will give us 4, or the cube root of 64 will be 4. Okay, let's go to the next 16. So our next question is coming from 2017 internal paper. Find the value of cube root of 27 plus square root of 4. Cube root of 27 plus square root of 4. So we need to find the value of this expression. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rewrite it down here. Once I've done that, then I'm going to find the cube root of 27 first. So a cube root, that is a number which you multiply by itself 3 times in order for it to give you a cube. Okay, so a cube root of 27 is the number that we can multiply by itself 3 times, then it gives us the answer, which is 27. Okay, so I'm going to write numbers here starting from 1 that can be multiplied thrice to get 27, or Yes, all right. So we're saying 1 by 1 will give us 1 by 1 by 1 will give us 1. 1 by 2 give us 8, and 3 by 3 will give us 27. So the cube root of 27 is 3. Okay, so I'm going to write 3 there. Then we're going to say plus. Then what is the square of 4? Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing I did. I'm going to write the numbers here. Now remember, a square root is a number that you multiply by itself twice in order to get a square number. Or a square root of a number is a number which you multiply by itself twice to get that number. So in this we can say that 1 by 1, the answer is 1. So the square of 1 is 1. 2 by 2 will give us 4. So the square root of 4 is 2. So 2 is the one we're going to put there. So plus 2. Then we're going to add that, which will give us 5. That is the answer. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, so this is our next question, which came in 2016 internal paper, and the question was evaluate square root of 400. Evaluate the square root of 400. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the square root of 400. Okay, then what you need to take note of are these two zeros. Since 400 has two zeros, that is telling us that the square root of this 400 is a number that has a 0 at the end. Because when we multiply that number by itself twice, it will give us an answer which has two zeros. Okay, so that's what we need to take note of. So we can start multiplying numbers that have zeros at the end. Okay, those should be two numbers. A number that has two numbers in itself, and the last number is 0. So 10 is one of it, so you can write them here. So when you see 10 by 10 will give us 100, 20 by 20 will give us 400. So the square root of 400 is 20. Okay, so in this question, what was important for me to make this question easier was to know that the product of this square root has two zeros. That means this square root should have 1 0 at the end, because when you multiply two numbers with the 1 0 at the end, that means the product is going to have two zeros at the end. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, so the next question is coming from 2015 internal paper. This is the question that came in 2015, and it is as follows. Find the value of cube root of 8 plus square root of 16. Find the value of cube root of 8 plus square root of 16. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the expression down here. Then I'm going to find the cube root of 8. So I'm going to multiply numbers 3 times, starting with 1, going upwards. Okay, so that is what I've done there. So 1 multiplied by 1 will give us 1. 2 multiplied by 2 will give us 4. By 2 then give us 8. So the cube root of 8 is 2. Then I'm going to find the square root of 16, which I'm going to write numbers on the right side that you can multiply by themselves. Then they give you the answer, which is 16. Okay, or they give you different perfect square roots. Okay, so 1 by 1 will give us 1, 2 by 2 give us 4, 3 by 3 will give us 9, 4 by 4 give us 16. So the square root of 16 is 4. 4 is the number that you can multiply by itself twice, and it will give you the answer, which is 16. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to add that. 2 plus 4 will give us 6. So 6 was the correct answer. Okay, so basically in this lesson you have learned that if you're not comfortable if you're not sure on how to find the square root and cube root from your head, it's better you write them down, just like I have done. You don't have to get embarrassed. These things, they usually happen. It takes practice for you to master the square root and the cube root of certain numbers. So if you're not sure, please, it's better you use the rough paper given in an exam to write these things I was writing, and take time. In an exam, don't rush, because sometimes when you rush, you end up getting wrong answers. So make sure you take time and then you write the correct answers. So watch out for another video where I'm going to compile all the questions from different topic, then I'll answer them. So this was just like an exercise. Now I was using questions from the papers to work them as examples. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.